something you just stated, because I got to be honest, I took a bit of a personal offense to this. You're saying that your belief is that it's more cohesive to not use the term mom and dad with regards to leadership. Is that correct?
Now, what I'm saying, Congressman, is that be respectful and get to know your airmen before you just assume. And that's the aspect of what I'm talking about, is you have to, part of leadership is getting to know the people you're privileged to lead. And the better you understand them, the better you can build trust. And the better you build that trust, the more cohesive team you have to do what the nation's asked us to do as military members.
So I guess then by that logic, throughout my time in the military as a non-commissioned officer, where I allowed every one of our team members, whether it was out operational or back home, that when they would say mom and dad, I should have in some way have corrected them in this because I wasn't building a cohesive unit. Very interesting, I must say, especially with my military and government time spending over 7 years in Iraq, 3 years in Afghanistan, Kosovo, Pakistan, northern Somalia. Thank you for correcting me in my remiss way of leadership. I want to switch to something which is actually very important to the ongoing finance discussion, which is we keep looking at everything from a hardware perspective with regards to military aircraft or a gun-to-gun, bomb-to-bomb, bullet-to-bullet type kinetic element of warfare. I want to know how much of the budget is going towards things like the research of quantum entanglement, which I think is going to be exceptionally important as we look into AI, autonomous drone capabilities and assets. I also think that in recognition that China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea has a geopolitical alignment that is really economic resource and innovation-based warfare, I'd love to know how we are utilizing our budget to help us to advance in the quantum war space that I think could be detrimental to China's advancement.
It is one of the areas we're investing in. There's a lot of concern about quantum capability from the point of view of quantum computing in particular, and its potential for decryption of a lot of our current sets of encryption capabilities. There are advanced communications possibilities, secure communications possibilities as well. So it's one of the things that I believe the Undersecretary for Research and Engineering has on her list of technologies to emphasize. It's also one of the technologies included under the AUKUS program, where we're working closely with Australia and the UK. There's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of uncertainty as to when that technology is going to mature, but it's very important for us to invest in, and I agree with you on that.
Would you like to add to that at all, General?
I was just going to add that software-defined anything is better. When I talk about deploying my capabilities, they don't come home. A lot of them stay on orbit forever, quite frankly. And so the ability to upgrade, to redefine based on software upgrades and along the lines that you're talking about is a tremendous advantage, and we're investing in that.
I absolutely agree, and especially with the idea or mindset that we can utilize those satellites that you send above or this quantum technology to help to essentially turn our enemy into being blind, dumb, and deaf, right? And that's ultimately a capability to try and control a battle space in warfare. Moving on to recruitment. I noted in the DoD IG report that they said that the pandemic can no longer be utilized as an excuse for our failures in recruitment efforts. What do you think is contributing the most significantly outside of our need to increase the quality of life, which I agree with, things like adding childcare, things like ensuring that our military soldiers' pay is comparable to the rate of inflation to make sure we're not invisibly defunding them, but also looking at MILCON that is needed to help upgrade the barracks and provide more housing availability and affordability, off-post housing. What do you think is the most significant reason why we are armed forces-wide over 25,000 in deficit, and even in the Air Force looking at shortages within the pilots?
The thing that's affecting young people mostly is lack of awareness of the military, lack of an understanding of what the military has to offer. They're a long way away from thinking about housing and child development centers. They're thinking about, what am I going to get out of this? And a lot of them, from the surveys that have been done, are worried about their safety, that if they go in that they won't be safe. So we really need to educate people. The number of people who have had parents serve in the military used to be something like 40%. It's down to less than 15 now. So all of us need to, and it was mentioned earlier by General Brown and myself, and I think General Saltzman too, we all need to reach out to people where we have the opportunity to try to communicate about what the military has to offer. Again, retention is fine. We're keeping people. We're addressing all those other problems, but we're still keeping people. We need to
Gentleman's
get
time
through to young
expired.
people and let them know what we have to offer, and I think we'll prevail. I don't think we have a recruiting crisis in response to the earlier comment. I think we have a problem that we can manage our way through, and what we're doing is having an effect. So we're gonna-
Gentleman's time's expired.